Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wancher YouTube channel. I'm your host, Amy, and welcome to another fountain pen review. In this review, we are going into my personal fountain pen collection in order to review a small pen that packs a large punch. It's a Sailor. Well, technically speaking, I own two Sailor pens, but both of them are not Sailors, including this one. There is always something about Japanese fountain pens that made me acquire them, collect them, enjoy them, and have them in my personal fountain pen collection. Although they are not super flashy, they tend to have something more of a subtle look and feel, and the way they are designed and built, and I love every single aspect. And the fountain pen that we have right here is the living proof of that. Anyway, in true pen venture style, I'm going to show you the fountain pen. I'm going to tell you some information about the company, the fountain pen, the model. Then I'm going to show you the details of that fountain pen. Then we will go into a side-by-side size comparison, writing sample, and in the end I'm going to tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. I acquired this fountain pen from a good friend of mine, and I'm super thankful that he passed on the ownership of this fountain pen to me. It's a Sailor Wancher Japan Blue. Wancher is a company based in Japan, established around 2011 or so. In regards of their mission, we can name three large points. First of all, is to create products that enhance life quality. That's a great thing to put right there. At number two, we have to discover and introduce the world to traditional techniques. And third, to support and preserve traditional arts and craftsmanship. And I'm super happy to be part of this mission, to own a fountain pen that supports those 3 points of their mission. This is what you get when you order a Japan Blue. This is the box. It's opening like so. It's opening and it's sort of bringing out the fountain pen. This fountain pen is packed of features, something which I believe is based on a Sailor model, but it has a lot of alterations, certain things that make it stand out from other Sailor fountain pens. Right here on the finial we have resin. The trims I suspect to be made out of metal, and we have this blue parts which are made in aluminum. The fountain pen shape is flat at ends and very simple, with a slightly larger cap. Coming down from the finial, we can see a step down, which is very nicely integrated, and it is not sharp, nothing at all. It's not breaking the visual aspect. It's very subtle, and we transition into that aluminum overlay, if we can call it like this, which displays this mesmerizing blue color. This blue color is the traditional purplish blue color, and this is obtained with something very interesting. But before getting into the color itself, let's check this pattern and texture. This is obtained by hand in the traditional Japanese art form tankin. This art form was used to decorate the tsuba, the guard of the katana sword. Tsuba was always decorated with high-class traditional Japanese arts. This is one of the most interesting things in regards of the texture and the way it's feeling, because it's so cohesive. The pattern, it is made by hand, and you can clearly see that it's even and it is well distributed. This is something which I love to test out, because I would hand this fountain pen to someone and I will explain the story behind it and how it's made, and you can clearly see them remaining like this with their jaw dropped. This is not your ordinary blue color. This is indigo blue. This anodized aluminum, it is done in the traditional Japanese way. The flowers of the indigo tree are picked by hand, and they are rapidly used in order to stain, or at least to paint, this aluminum. And this blue color is very nice, and it stands out, and it is something which is like hypnotic. Moving further, we have this ring right here engraved with Japan Blue Oita. On the cap we have no clip at all, so it's sort of rolling on your desk. It's a screw cap, 1.5 complete turns to uncap the fountain pen, and we take a closer look at the nib. This is the beautiful Sailor 14 karat gold nib. Those nibs are very, very nice. Very small, but very, very nice. The anchor logo of Sailor, we have that contour with the very, very fine motif of Sailor, 14 karat. This is a HM, which stands for hard medium. Right here on the left shoulder, we have the size, plastic feeder, and with Sailor this seems to be the standard and it works very, very nice. The section is pretty ergonomic and it feels very comfortable. Although it's on the skinny side of sections, it starts to go down into the proportions and dimensions, starting from here towards the nib, and closer to the nib we have this small flaring out that prevents your fingers from slipping towards the nib. We have a ring right here, we have the barrel threads on this part right here, and a step up just like the one on the finial. We have no significant tapering in towards the end knob. Right here we have another major visual point, which is this part that is going to help you post the cap on this fountain pen, because this is a push to post, and this part has two pins which I believe connect into the cap and makes it very secure to post this fountain pen and keeps the cap from rattling. The end finial, which is done in this black very shiny resin, and it's a little bit more taller. The finial finishes off with this flat surface. Let's check the filling system, and I'm gonna unscrew everything. Sailor converter, which is not my ultra all-time favorite cartridge converter to use, but anyway, it's very nice that they are provided with every single fountain pen. They seem to work very well. It is a small ink capacity. Another thing that I want to point out with this Sailor cartridge converters is the fact that you can disassemble your cartridge converter like so, and you can remove it and you can clean it or grease it. And this is something which is very convenient, because a lot of other converters are not allowing the user to disassemble them in order to be cleaned or greased. It is a bonus. We have right here an O-ring, considering everything that's made out in metal, including the cap and this part right here. I wouldn't recommend you to convert this fountain pen to be an eyedropper filling system, because you can damage those parts and they can corrode with the ink in the fountain pen. I think that's it. In regards of details, this is what I have for the Sailor Wancher Japan Blue. One of the smallest fountain pens in my personal fountain pen collection that I really enjoy to own and to use. Speaking about size, now let's go into a side-by-side size comparison to show you this fountain pen and its proportions. Here is the Sailor Japan Blue next to a Scribbo Feel, a Leonardo Furore. We have Wancher Japan Blue, Omas Ogiva Alba. We have the big brother, the Namiki Emperor in vermilion, and a Aurora Optima. Now let's have a look uncapped. In this scenario, it's much more easy to spot that the Wancher Japan Blue, it is miles away from the Namiki Emperor. It's closer in regards of length with the Aurora Optima, and in regards of the girth of the fountain pen, it is very close to a Omas Ogiva Alba. So we are dealing with a fountain pen which is at the best medium size, but I believe it's small. And in regards of girth, again, it is very thin. The fountain pen capped like so measures 133 millimeters. Uncapped from the tip of the nib to the end finial, we have 117 millimeters. Posted like so in writing position, it's measuring 162 millimeters. The total weight capped and posted fully inked is 36 grams, and uncapped like so, it is 20 grams. That's it in regards of size, and I think this is one of the fountain pens which looks tiny and small, but once you pose this fountain pen, it becomes a little bit more balanced and its length is much more desirable in that state when it's posted. Now let's get some ink. Let me get my trusty notebook and let's have a look at this impressive Sailor 14 karat gold medium nib. I don't know how and why, but ever since I got this Sailor Wancher Japan Blue, I always ink it up with this ink. And this is my Scribbo Blue Cosmico. I don't know why, maybe the name Blue Japan, Blue Scribbo Cosmico, I don't know. It is very easy to actually ink up this fountain pen because of this cartridge converter system from Sailor. It doesn't hold a super large amount of ink, but anyway, it is enough to enjoy the fountain pen and to enjoy also the ink. Now, like I told you, we're going to pose the fountain pen and let's give it a try. So we have the pen, Sailor, Wancher, Japan, blue. The ink, Scribble, blue, Cosmico. The nib, 14 karat gold, and this is a hard M medium. Paper, Tomoe River Paper 52 GSM. This is a splendid nib. Although I love Sailor nibs, I think that they are very original in the way that they are writing and performing, and different to all other nibs. Let me show you, because this wetness test is going to prove you just that. And this is one pass. This is a very moderate ink flow for a medium nib. If I would put a Leonardo nib, it will be around here, almost half a page or even more. So normal, figure of 8, and it is a skinny medium, and I think that the ink flow has something to do about that, because it's not that wet, and when you have a nib that's not wet, it's not going to produce that much ink pooling, and that ink pooling would change the thickness of the line. Flex, it has some give, but I would put it to be quite rigid, even more so than a European, for example, Leonardo. So it's a rigid nib. Don't flex it, it's not for flexing, it's nice in normal writing. Let's use that famous sentence, and let's give it a try. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It is one of those nibs that are very good candidates in regards of normal writing and everyday writing and all condition writing. Going to have a little bit of feedback, but it is not toothiness, it is not scratchy, it is not dry, nothing whatsoever. The nib is adjusted very nicely and very much alike every single Sailor that I tested. Let's go into my personal opinions. Let me tell you what I like about this fountain pen and what I don't like about it. And let me tell you that it's going to be tricky to put the words I don't like and fountain pen in the same phrase, and I'm going to try to pick my words carefully. I like that this fountain pen puts together companies, traditional arts, concepts that I can go and exchange my funds towards supporting and to preserve these arts and to make sure that they will continue to exist. I love this thing about Wancher. Wancher has a lot of fountain pens which are on my list. I love how it feels. I love the look. I love the blue color. The blue color is very deep and very resistant. I haven't noticed anything going on with this aluminum fountain pen, although I've been carrying this fountain pen and owning it for the past 1+ years. And the fountain pen is just like it was in the first day. So this is a very resilient and high quality product. Overall, the pricing is around $500 US. If you would go forward and have a Sailor, it's going to be much more lower than that, but they wouldn't come with a hammered aluminum body dyed in Japan blue, this amazing color, and it wouldn't have all of that. But it would have the nib, the cartridge converter, and every single aspect in regards of the writing experience. Now, let's move to the things that I don't like about this. First of all is the actual proportions of the nib relative to the fountain pen. And when I say small, it's the size of my fingernail. I know that maybe this is just personal taste, but overall, I've seen some Sean design fountain pens, which are those small pocket fountain pens with a little bit more larger nibs, and I tend to like that ratio fountain pen, small fountain pen, larger nib. The writing performances are very, very nice, but the nibs are very rigid. That can be both good if you look forward at having something reliable that you can just get out of your case and write something on any surface, any kind of paper, any kind of that. If you like to flourish with your fountain pens, to have a little bit of flexibility to press on the nib, to add a little bit more character to your handwriting, this is not going to be suited for all of that. I would like to have something which also has a little bit more ink capacity, but with this Sailor it's going to be a no, because this will fit like 2 or 3 drops. I like to have a little bit more ink flow, but for that I would be very much intended to take those 2 tines and pull them apart a little bit and open the slit to have a little bit more ink. But doing that, it's going to take from the overall Japanese intended way for this fountain pen to write, to look, to feel, from the actual inheritance from Japanese writing instruments. So I would be leaving it like so, and I wouldn't alter the writing experience, and I would use it just like any of my other fountain pens. In regards of the things that I like and I don't like about this fountain pen, that's it. The pros, the cons, and seems like the ratio in between the things that I like and the ones that I don't like are weighing much more for those that I like, because I own this fountain pen. Let me know your opinion in the comment section down below. If you have any other questions, again, use the comment section down below. And remember, this fountain pen, you can find it available on the Wancher website or on the secondary market. Thank you for spending this time with me on the Penmanship YouTube channel. If you enjoy my content and if you find it useful, give it a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you're watching right now and if you're looking for a next writing instrument, scroll down below, you'll find the links for our website, our social media accounts, my phone number, email, anything and everything that you may need in order to get in contact with us. Don't forget to support the Penmanship YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, you can subscribe right now. Just click there, turn on the notification bell on, and you will be notified whenever we have new content. Speaking about content, if you want to continue watching my videos, I'm going to leave you this right here. You can click and enjoy. As always, it's your host, Amy. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care, stay safe, bye-bye.